North Shore's home for the best music.
1049 WBOQ Gloucester.
It's time for John Paul, the Car Doctor, on North Shore 1049. Call today with your car questions, comments, or concerns. 1-800-370-1049. That's 1-800-370-1049. John Paul, the Car Doctor.
And good Saturday morning, everyone, and welcome to another edition of the Car Doctor program on North Shore 1049. My name's John Paul, the Car Doctor. If you're new to the program, I try to answer car questions for people. Maybe they're thinking about buying, selling, repairing their car. We try to do that. I've been doing this for, well, I thought I was on the previous station for 12 years. Come to find out, it was really 14 years. And I think before that, it was another 10. And then before that, it was another couple before. So a whole bunch of time I've been trying to help people with their car problems and try to chit-chat with people about cars and interesting things. In today's program, we are going to be reviewing a luxury car, the Mercedes E-Class. We're going to be talking about that. Also, remember that our program is brought to you in part by Specialized Auto up in Essex. Up for me, probably left or right for you, maybe, I don't know. But, yeah, Specialized Auto, great shop. You should check it out. And also, of course, AAA is helping along as well. And just to let you know, AAA has some great deals on some new memberships through the month of April. So check out the website. Go to AAA.com/join, and you can find out about some new deals that we're kind of doing just because it's that time to try to help people feel a little bit more secure. We are going to be talking with, we're going to be reviewing something weird too. If you follow me on Facebook, I did do a Facebook post this morning, a video post. Yes, I am broadcasting from my basement like I did and probably where I will for some time to come still. But of all things, I'm going to be reviewing a vacuum cleaner. We'll talk about that a little bit later. I saw this, and I got an email from someone the other day. Someone said they saw a Volkswagen pickup truck, and it wasn't an old Rabbit pickup truck. They said it was a new Volkswagen, relatively new Volkswagen, and it looked like a Jetta, but it was a Ute, and I actually knew what that was, and that is a kind of do-it-yourself conversion kit, and it's the company is Smyth Performance, and with us on the phone is Mark Smyth. Mark, good morning, and welcome to the Car Doctor program.
Good morning, John. How are you, my friend?
I'm doing just well. So let's give people a little bit of a history lesson about where you kind of come from and maybe how you got into making these cool little kits for making some fun little utes.
It's really it's kind of a fun story, especially as I look back. I find myself telling the story often now. But I started Factory 5 racing, the Cobra Kit Car Company in. It was like 93 when I did the prototype. I was a chemist up in Framingham, Mass. For Avery Dennison. And from there, the Factory 5 story is pretty well known. It became pretty much the biggest kit car company in the world. I sold my interest in Factory 5 to my brother. 2012 is when we closed. And the funny part of the story was the non-compete agreement that I had to sign for 5 years in order to get my money said I could only work on Jettas. And so what does a race car engineer, kit car guy do for 5 years when all he can work on is Jettas, right? The result was the Smyth Jetta pickup truck.
So you could only work on Jettas. How was that? How did you guys pick Jetta of all things?
Well, I got into diesels. I went all in on the diesel stuff. I had in Buzzards Bay here. You might have seen it. The boat was a terror on Buzzards Bay. I had a 50-foot, cigarette boat, a Scarab, and I had twin C-Tech 750 horse diesels in the back. I went all biodiesel on this speedboat. So here I am, ripping around Buzzards Bay at 60 miles an hour with this 50-foot long cigarette boat. I was selling Factory 5, and I got into diesel Jettas because the diesels, started just for fun.
Yep.
And then I sold the company, and I said, well, of all the things I could work on, because my brother didn't want me, working on Cobras, obviously.
Yeah.
You don't, and then more power to him. There's nothing dastardly. I mean, you're going to sell your company for millions of dollars. You don't want the creative engineer guy doing the same thing the next year, right? So
makes sense.
Yeah, so I started getting deep into diesels back then, and it went, from the boats to the cars to just about everything I was working on. And that little pickup truck, it was just one of those accidental successes because it was perfect timing. Everybody was starting to get into little cars back then. This is, we're talking 2012, 13, that kind of time frame. And then Rutledge Woods saw one at SEMA, and my buddy said, "Hey, Rut turns to me and he says, 'Hey, let's blow this up, man.' And he put it on his TV show, and Smyth Performance took off."
Yeah, and he's kind of an interesting character because I've had him on the show before too, and he's I didn't know what to expect, but he's a real car guy that puts together some weird stuff.
He is, and I don't want to embarrass the guy, but I mean, in real life, when you meet these guys, there are the TV crowd and the famous, the almost famous. There's a lot of people that are full of themselves, and Rutledge Wood is the real deal. He is kind, he is funny, he's a family guy, and he shares everything on social media. And he learned early on that's just being who you are is your success story, right? And he's one of those rare guys. Never paid him a dime. I mean, the guy literally launched my company for me. Never, just because he thought it was cool.
Yeah, no, it is. So now all of a sudden, you're in this position where there are Volkswagen diesels kicking around, and this was pre the Volkswagen diesels. I'll say scandal. Part of me wants to say nonsense, but scandal. And these cars. If for people that like cars, there's nothing more fun than a diesel with a stick shift.
The diesel with the stick and a chip tune, you can still keep enormous amounts of power in these things. And it's funny, diesel cars, for those of your listeners that don't really, the draw to a diesel is the torque. So when you drive, the car feels like it's twice as powerful as it really is because of the twisting power you feel in the seat of your pants when you gently step on the fuel.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
No, you're
the feeling, and you get used to it because it really is addictive. But what you brought up, the diesel crisis, if you will, with Volkswagen almost ended us. Right when we were getting ahead of steam going, that thing comes out, and we're a diesel Jetta-based outfit. Basically, everybody was a diesel person who was buying it, and we had to reposition really quickly. That was tough.
Yeah, and then you did, and one of the ones you did, which I've only seen on your website so far, is the Audi A4 version, and what a pretty looking vehicle that is when it's done.
The A4 and the S4, the same chassis.
Yep.
So you have I was driving an S4 and wanted to make a truck out of it because it had the V8 and everything. And when we finished that car, I remember turning to Mike, my engineer, and I said, whether people like this or not, this is the best looking one we have. It really was the funkiest, wildest design. And it also is our lowest volume seller. So it's one of those weird things where the best one we have is also the one that doesn't sell because they want the American muscle. They want the VWs, they want the Beetle. And some of the nicer kits we make actually, only sell single digits, a month.
Mm. Yeah, I want to get to the Beetle in a minute, but I guess I took my life in my hands yesterday and left my house and stayed 6 feet away from everybody. But I was walking by a Charger, and I was looking at it, and I'm like, how did he come up with the idea of turning this into a Ute?
We have it down to a cut and dry formula now. So not all cars make good trucks. We've cut a lot of cars apart, and great example is the BMW E39. So I have one at the shop. I cut it, the roof's off. We dove into it, and BMWs, as great as they are as a performance car, they're not built in the same way as an Audi or a VW or a Charger. They don't have those welded three-way frame rails from the back seat all the way to the rear. And so in order to make a good truck, there are some basic things that have to be in the basic design of the car. The Charger that you bring up is one of those cars that was made to be a truck because from the back of your front seat where you're sitting all the way to the rear is this 4-inch by 5-inch triple stamped frame rail. So even though there's no frame on these cars, they're all unibody.
Yep.
the frame rail is welded under the car on a lot of these German cars. And the Chrysler, if you remember, is Daimler Chrysler. They're very similar to the E-Class Mercedes.
Right.
So from the firewall rearward, it's basically the same design as an E-Class. And they're tanks. They are just tanks. And those cars, when we're done reinforcing them, make terrific trucks. But basically the formula is any four-door car can look pretty good as a truck because the rear doors come off. We put the quarter panels on, and you get that, that car truck look.
Now, when you build these vehicles, especially the first one out, and you guys are working on a Grand Cherokee right now. Do you sit there with a CAD machine, or do you sit there with some cardboard and a 4.5-inch angle grinder?
It's a little of both. I'm 58 years old coming up, and the stereotypes are true. Old guys don't really change their ways. What works for you creating is what you do. Some people can draw 100% digitally. God bless them. I cannot. Yeah. When you look at a screen, it looks great. When you print out or make what you see on the screen, you look at it and go, what the heck was I thinking, right?
Yeah.
You need, even GM, the big companies, they still work in full-size clay models. We all use the digital tools to speed things along. Mm-hmm. So we do 3D scan things. Anything that will save time, but in general, something like the Grand Cherokee, another Daimler Chrysler product, basically from the old days, once you understand how each manufacturer builds their cars, it gets really easy because you know where the hard points are. You know where those designers, had little weak points when you convert it into a truck. So it's a combination. We scan, we digitize. We're big on. I'm a big believer in SolidWorks and two-dimensional CAD software. Mm-hmm. I don't do everything just 3D. I do it 2D. Make the pattern. We cut it on the CNC machine so that it's perfect. If I cut the left-hand side, I'll make sure that I cut the sample on the CNC machine so that when I do the right-hand side, I can recut what I just did. Yeah. And that's the difference. So it's a combo of, the hand shaping for speed and digitizing it so that you're symmetrical left to right.
Yeah, makes perfect sense. And the charger, you can buy chargers pretty inexpensively.
John, these cars, disclaimer, Factory 5s are not cheap, right? We made cars for guys that had money. They're $50,000 mm-hmm. by the time you put this money into it. They're great, amazing cars. When I went to this truck business, we're talking about a $3,000 price point, right? And the price of the donor becomes really important because even the rich guys don't want to spend $20,000 on an old Charger. It's still an old Charger. I have 3 of these. And this is a car that has a Hemi V8. It has an indestructible Mercedes 5-speed automatic transmission. Mm-hmm. It has an independent rear end, which means, each wheel has separate suspension. Yep. It's not a solid axle, like the old Mustangs. The car technically has all the ingredients of a fantastic supercar. And yet it's in a 4-door sedan body that, to be honest, is tired and nobody wants a 4-door. If it's a special car, I have a 4-door that I drive every day. I have to take the kids around. But when I have a special car, I want a 2-door. Yeah. And these cars are trucks, but just like in Australia, they're sport cars, sport trucks. It's a fun truck. And the donor car price, I got my Chargers for $2,500, 100,000 miles on them. I have 3 cars with 200,000 now. I've done brake pads and 1 alternator on those 3 cars after driving 160,000 miles between all 3 of them. I love those cars for the value and the durability of this platform, and they're $2,500.
Yeah, no, I went by a little used car lot that had a couple of Charger police package cars, and I'm just kind of looking at those, and they were almost giving them away, because there's always that concern of. Yeah, exactly. So kind of fun stuff. The one that is going to falls into the cutest ever, I guess, is the Beetle.
I knew the Beetle would be fun because I had a '62 single cab for years. I sold it last year, and it was the kind of car. Those old VWs, those of us that started with cars, the expression we always say is, when I was in the 70s in high school, if you couldn't afford a car, you bought a bug. because it wasn't really a car. They're all rusty, they're all old, and they all ran. And so people these days, especially guys my age, look, I went on to Jags and Ferraris and Factory Fives and, pretty fancy car guy my whole life, building stuff. But I started with my Baja Bug in 1977, right? And you would be amazed, or not amazed, at the huge percentage of people over 50 that got their start fixing cars with air-cooled Volkswagen Beetles. And the joke inside the company, I'll get an email and or a phone call from guys over 70, right? The bulk of people buying the Beetle are hardcore car guys. I mean, these are guys that own body shops and restoration facilities, and these are really talented guys. And they're like 80. And they're building a Bug, and they've got a Hemi Charger next door. Not a new one. They've got a 68 Hemi Charger in the garage. And I'm like, what's happening? And so obviously it appeals to the 30-somethings and stuff because it's a relatively modern interpretation of a Beetle. Nobody wants it as a Beetle. But you put a truck bed on the back, and now it's special. And people applaud when you go by in that car. It's crazy.
Yeah, no, it is a really cool looking thing, and with the rear fenders, especially the way they're made into the bed, the detail there is just phenomenal. It's a really pretty truck.
That's the only one. The Audi and the Beetle are the two cars that we have where we truly had to design the look of the car. I mean, if you just extend the Beetle, it doesn't look. It looks all wrong. It looks like a train wreck.
Right.
The Audi's the same way. They have very particular lines, and so that's where the 20 years, making kit cars comes in handy. Your eye says something looks horrible or looks early on before you spend all the money. You can kind of tell. You
can see it in the picture where you took the front fender shape and dragged it out to the back, and even took the tailgate and sort of finished off the back of it on an angle that is really appropriate to like the back window and just the overall shape. It's a really well done vehicle. And what's a kit like that cost?
They're $3,000. Yeah, by kit, it's just like Factory 5. We were big in the old days when I designed the Factory 5 Cobras and these cars, is not going to the hardware store. Every rivet, every screw, the tailgate, the latches, you give these folks the pieces that they need to build a car, and they're very talented. Most of these guys are very, very good builders, and they're repeat. They'll do mine, they'll do a Factory 5, they'll do a restoration on a car. These are very, very busy guys, and it's fun to be able to give them something to do.
No, it is. It's a really fun looking project, and we're starting to run a little short on time. But before we let you go, I gotta wonder. When you said the Jetta was the car that I could work on, and did you like watch a Mad Max movie one day and go, little Utes, Australian Utes? That's a good idea. How'd that come up?
The Holdens. Most car guys in the country, we never got them after the El Camino had all died, right? But the Holdens in Australia, those they kept the torch alive. I mean, this is the LS powered, rear wheel drive car El Camino we should have had in this country. And
Absolutely.
The little Utes, the little VWs, they're still popular in Brazil and other parts of the world. But in this country, the whole category just went away, mostly by a mandate by the bigger companies that just saw 15,000, 20,000 units a year as too small. I'm here to tell you, I'm happy with 15,000, 20,000 if that's where this is going. But we're a little smaller than the big guys, right?
Yeah.
But the Australians kept it alive, man.
Yeah. No, I remember it was probably 25 years ago. Porsche sold, I think, 5,000 cars in the United States. So you're selling four times as much as they did. So
GM doesn't deal with that volume. Yeah, they don't. They don't
that volume falls off the assembly line, and they just kind of leave it to one side. So
they throw more than that away.
Yeah. When someone buys a kit, say somebody went out and they bought a $3,000 Volkswagen Beetle with, maybe even the PZEV, the five cylinder engine in it, just for a little bit more fun. And they bought your kit. How can they? Is there somebody they can call up and go, "Hey, I'm having a little problem with this," or do you have folks there that can help them, like you?
I'm always. It's this is a stage of a company that's really fun because, Factory 5 got big, obviously. You go from 0 to 20 million in sales, whatever. You have a staff, you have 5 guys on the phone. Mm-hmm. So even though we're doing 5, 10 a week, depending on the week of kits, at least, which is amazing to me, even in the crisis who would have thought that I'd still be shipping cars in the middle of a crisis because people want stuff at home to build, right? I would have thought sales would have stopped. At the end of the day, I can still take, between Mike and I, Mike is my engineer, I can still take almost all the calls, and you wouldn't think my cell phone is on the website, and I decided early on to put my cell phone out there with all the hundreds of thousands of people, right? Yep. And you would be amazed at how respectful. When somebody calls, they want to give me money and buy a car, or they have a technical question that I can answer. And we try with YouTube videos and things like that. But at the end of the day, it's still a great phone call away, and I'm around. We're still small enough. It won't last. I'll have to have a couple of people, helping. Yep. But for now, it's that wonderful golden age of the early start of a company where I can pretty much stay in contact with everybody.
Yeah. I mean, that's how I got a hold of you. I called the phone number that was on your website, and you answered it.
That's it. I can still do it. Hey, why? If I can, I do, right?
Yeah. No. And if people want more information on how to learn more about this, the website is?
It's smythkitcars.com, and it's spelled SMYTH. That's how you spell Smyth. Smythkitcars.com, or you can go to the YouTube channel, which is Smyth Performance, and see the build videos and how they're done.
No, it's fun stuff, and looking at the videos and how it all gets put together. And for somebody who's truly got a little bit of garage space, a little bit of money, they can build some really cool looking stuff.
Oh, and they can use it every day. It's got airbags. Yeah. As much as I love Cobras, you don't want to crash, right? It is exactly what it's supposed to be. But in these cars, you've got all them. You can give this to your daughter when she's 16. It's a safe car. It's got all the airbags. It's got all this stuff still. It's good. Yeah. It's fun stuff.
Yeah. I have. I guess I have 2 Volkswagens, one here and someplace else, and I needed a car to drive up here for a little while, so I bought an 09 Beetle convertible. Can I make a Ute out of a Beetle convertible?
You're right. You have 2 guys that did it. Technically, you can, but it's a lot of work. I didn't design the kit or the convertible. But, my Factory 5 guys, most of these guys, by the way, the real star builders, if you look at the pictures, you'll see a Cobra in the background because I've known them for 20 years. They're not regular builders. The guy who does a convertible pretty much had to fab the whole top and everything himself. So no is the answer, but it has been done.
Well, I don't think my wife would let me do it anyway. She's just starting to get comfortable with this whole
always
car.
Hard. So. It's like jumping out of an airplane in a parachute. Why jump out of a perfectly functional airplane, right? Your car works, right?
Exactly.
Hard to cut it in half.
Exactly. Yeah. Hey, thanks for taking a little time out of your Saturday and joining us on North Shore 104.9 on the Car Doctor program. And again, it is Smyth Kit Cars, SMYTH. Kitcars.com is the email. And you guys have recently moved to Rhode Island, right?
Our molder, a longtime friend of mine, John Meikle, runs a marine molding place down there. One of the buildings next door to him came available. He makes all my fiberglass pieces. So we had this wonderful opportunity in December to move to Rhode Island, to Tiverton. And we're right. He molds the bodies and has a little mini trailer with he basically brings them next door now. It's fantastic. So great luck of the draw.
Yeah, is he the same guy that molds Bobby Tasker's funny cars?
I think one of his guys used to. No, he's definitely focused more on the engineering side of the marine business. He does the hard tops for all those $1 million yachts and stuff.
Okay. All right. Hey, Mark, thanks for taking a little time out. I really appreciate it. And again, it is Smyth Kit Cars with a Y, SMYTH, kitcars.com. And you never know, maybe I'll stop in and see you in Tiverton one of these days.
We'd love to have you. Thank you for having me.
All right. Thanks, Mark. Hey, we need to take a break, pay some bills. My name's John Paul. This is the Car Doctor program. You're listening on North Shore 104.9. You can give us a call at 800-370-1049. Yeah, just like that. 800-370-1049. Love to hear from you, see what's on your mind. Maybe you got some car questions. Maybe you got some thoughts. Maybe you're going to build a kit car. We'll be right back.
Join us Monday starting at 6. We want to hear all the excitement and fun that you had all weekend. So save up all that excitement and you can tell us about it on Monday.
Yes, definitely. We want you to join us, 1-800-370-1049. And we will be joined as well by other great local people from the area, including Mark Freeman, Senator Tar, Joanne McGinnis, and more great guests. Keep it locked and local here on 104.9.
Talk to you Monday at 6.
Erica and Donnie in the morning on North Shore 104.9.
All roadside assistance is not created equal. A car can break down anytime and anywhere. Join AAA, the roadside provider that puts you first. AAA covers you in any car you're driving or riding in. Our trained technicians arrive fast and usually fix the problems on the spot. Trust your safety to the most recommended roadside provider in the U.S. Join AAA today at aaa.com/join. That's aaa.com/join.
Are you a Saab driver who loves your car but can't find a mechanic? Or maybe you own a Range Rover and have to wait weeks for maintenance. If you own an Audi, Porsche, or any European car, you know you need a European automotive specialist. The kind of professionals you'll find at Specialized Auto in Essex. With 23 years in the business and a proven track record in sales and service, Specialized Auto can maintain and repair your car with fast turnaround and at lesser expense. European cars are special. They need Specialized Auto of Essex. Call them today at 978-768-1121 for Specialized Auto of Essex.
Hi, I'm Michael Sopino of Stratford Insurance Financial Services, located in Middleton. We're a full-service, independent family agency with 25 years of experience. We offer national and regional insurance carriers, such as Arbella Insurance, for individuals, families, and businesses. In fact, if you switch to Arbella and insure both your car and home, you could save up to 20% or more. We at Stratford Insurance Financial Services look forward to serving you. Please find us online at stratfordins.com or stop by at 181 South Main Street in Middleton.
Hello, this is Brian Craney from Craney Home Services. I want to take a moment to discuss the ongoing events surrounding COVID-19 and what we are doing to help keep the people of our community safe and healthy. Because Craney is a plumbing, electrical, heating, and air conditioning company, we have been deemed an essential service by the government. As we continue to provide these essential services during this time, we all have to take extra precautions to keep everyone safe. In addition to basic precautions like hand washing and wearing gloves, shoe covers, and masks, we're practicing safe social distancing as well as sanitizing our vehicles at the end of each day. We've trained our entire call center to ask important screening questions, such as, have you been sick in the last 14 days, or are you currently feeling ill? If any customer responds in a manner of concern, we'll let them know that now is not the best time for us to come to their home. These are things that we all can and must do in order to reduce the spread of COVID-19 and help our community stay healthy and safe. From all of us at Craney Home Services, be safe and know that if you need us, we are here.
Little GTO, you really looking fine. 3 deuces and a 4-speed and a 389. Listen to her tacking up now. Listen to her whine. Come on and turn it on, wind it up, blow it out, GTO.
And welcome back to the Car Doctor program. My name is John Paul, the Car Doctor, here to help you with your car problems. Our phone number, 800-370-1049, 800-370-1049, I guess is the right way to say it. Yeah, that's, you can give us a call. And love to talk to you about what's on your mind during all this time where you're probably trapped in the house or something. So you can give us a call, send us an email, something like that. We got quite a few emails. I'm not sure what's going on with the Boston Globe for people who normally read me in the Boston Globe. I think they have a problem with there's not enough advertising to put an automotive section together right now. So I think if you want to find my column, I believe, and I haven't looked today, but I believe it's supposed to be on Boston.com. So if you go to the electronic version, or you can go to Projo.com. Column runs in the Providence Journal as well, and also here and there around. So if you Google John Paul Car Doctor, you might find it on the Yankee Express, for instance, out of the western part of Massachusetts or central part of Massachusetts, or over that way. Anything west of where I am, I guess, is the western part. So we'll kind of go with that. Hey, there is a lot of good news around with a lot of the other problems. Fiat Chrysler, for instance, they have donated, I guess, 1 million meals for kids, and they're also working on face mask production. Harbor Freight, the cheap tool store that people sometimes make fun of. I don't make fun of them, by the way. I've heard people say, oh, they're single-use tools. No, they're tools that do what they do until they don't sometimes, but I've had good luck. And now that they're stepping up their game and they're coming up with these premium versions of the tools, a little bit better version, a little bit more expensive version, I still like the cheap ones. The one that I have beat the daylights out of is that it used to be on TV all the time. It was a company, it was FIEN. It was a vibrating cutting tool. I bought the Harbor Freight version for like $15. I have one wherever I am, it seems like. I've used it to cut wood. I've used it to cut metal. I've used it to do little trim work here and there, and just used it a lot. And for under $20, it's been a really good, handy little tool. And yeah, it's not as fancy as the other ones with the no tool blade attachments and all that. I don't know, for $20 it works really well. Anyway, they donated their entire supply of masks, gloves, face shields to hospitals. So, and how it works is whoever needs them, you don't go into the store. You contact Harbor Freight directly. So go find Harbor Freight on Facebook or something if you're in need, and you can find them. Even my nephew, who works for an insulation company, who they actually I think closed their doors temporarily right now. They had a couple of boxes of face masks that they had in stock, and they donated them to I think they donated them to a local nursing home just so they have them there. So a lot of people doing that. Empire car covers. I have an Empire car cover. As people who have followed me around a little bit, I live pretty simple. I live in the same little house that I've lived in since I've been married for 43 years, or I suppose I should know exactly how long I've been married. But 40 some odd years, 43, I'm pretty sure. Maybe 44. I don't know. And, but I've lived in the same little house for all that time. So I live pretty modestly. I have another little tiny, smaller than this house, down the Cape, and then I have my tin shack in Florida, which I don't get to go to a whole lot. But I have an old mobile home down in Florida that hopefully doesn't blow away before I get time to go down and enjoy it. But I have my wife's car sitting in Florida with a car cover over it. But I got an email from the Empire car cover people, and they said you can if you have a car cover. And maybe it's starting to show a little bit of wear. They came out with directions on how to make face masks out of the car cover. And apparently the average car cover you can make 150 face masks out of. And they have a nice older couple that is showing you how to cut them all up and sew them together and make face masks. And one of the reasons they picked the car cover is because it's soft on the inside and it's breathable. So, it's not going to be medical grade, but it is going to be better than nothing, and it is soft on one side and breathable, so it's better than, some people that I've seen try to make them maybe out of paper towels or something. This works a little bit better than that. So, but yeah, you can go to their Empire, go to Empire Car Covers, Empire Covers, and go to their blog, and you can kind of learn how to do it. I thought that was actually pretty interesting. Our phone number again, 800-370-1049, 800-370-1049 if you want to get through and chat with me about your car and your car problems. We are live. So, live from my basement. Our buddy Jimmy Carter is up in the studio making all the things happen up there. If you were concerned about your inspection sticker, well, if you live in Massachusetts, and your car needs to be inspected by the end of March, which is coming up really quickly, they have extended that date till the end of May. So you have a window of opportunity, actually 2 months of opportunity to get your car inspected. If your car is due to be inspected in April, they've extended that to the end of June. So again, you have a little bit more window to be able to get that done. Some repair shops have really cut back. I got a call from a regular regular guy on this show, Junior D'Amato, Junior's Automotive. He had a shop in Hyde Park, and he closed that after 50 years, and he focused on his new shop in Middleborough, which he's owned for quite a while down there, but he put a big addition on the back of it. Between his couple of his guys said, I think I want to stay home because I want to stay a little bit separated. He's still in business. He's slowed his business down a little bit. I think he's still got 3 guys that are working, him being one of them, I think. And he'll still, like a lot of shops today, they'll go pick up your car and service it and bring it back to you and wipe it all down in between, kind of thing. But he said, he laid a couple people off, or a couple people voluntarily said, you know what, I think I'm gonna stay home because I'm worried about getting sick. So I know one of his guys, his wife has some medical issues, so he was concerned that he'd bring something home and didn't want to do that. So, but the shops that are open, well, the good news is that repair shops, auto parts stores, things like that are considered essential. So you'll always be able to get your car repaired. And this might be a good time if you're thinking about doing some maintenance to your car. Some of these businesses are not that busy right now, so get it done before the rush. And, same thing if your battery in your car is, 5, 6, 7 years old, rather than wait till wakes back up again and everybody goes out and starts their car, maybe this is the time you need to go think about, having the battery tested in your car, things like that. So, but the shops are still open. You'll be able to do that. Also, Toyota donated, I think, $500,000 to the United Way, and they're also making face shields. And the one that I was really impressed with, and I have a little bit of a soft spot for them, is South Shore Votech in Hanover. I'm an advisor to the Votech, the automotive program, but their engineering, their CAD/CAM people, their STEM program, they're all of that. They manufactured with their 3D printer, and Mark Smyth was talking about some 3D printing and computer-aided design and all that. They manufactured a whole bunch of face shields for the local hospital. So, good for them to be able to do that kind of stuff. So, there's all kinds of good stuff is happening, and, people are trying to band together a little bit, and, we want to see that. I got an email this week from somebody, or just overnight, that, they have a, Chrysler Crossfire. That was really a Mercedes vehicle. And I bet somebody like Specialized Auto would be a good choice, because they were saying, where can I go to get a Chrysler Crossfire fixed? Well, Chrysler Crossfire is a Mercedes. So my advice to this person is going to be, go find a good European repair shop. And even though it says Chrysler on it, it's really a Mercedes underneath. Go find a European repair shop. Let them fix it. That's probably the best way to do it, rather than have somebody that is not that familiar with it. We need to take another break. My name's John Paul. This is the Car Doctor program. Our phone number, 800-370-1049. We'll be right back.
America's resilient. We're innovative. We're creative. We're strong, and we don't give up, we don't lay down, and we certainly don't stay down when adversity comes our way. I'm Ron Kennelly from Northeast Basement Systems with a message. Many Americans will be home in captivity because of this pandemic. Northeast Basement Systems wants to help. We can create an office space in your basement at a reasonable cost while deferring payments so you can work from home. It's our way of keeping America and the economy moving forward. Visit us at northeastbasementsystems.com.
Beth Israel Leahy Health extends our deepest gratitude to all healthcare workers across Massachusetts. Thank you for your unwavering commitment to keeping our communities healthy. And join us each day at noon for the playing of our national anthem. All roadside assistance isn't created equal. Join AAA, the roadside provider that puts you first. AAA covers you in any car you're driving or riding in. Remember, our trained technicians at AAA arrive fast. They'll try to fix what's wrong. Maybe if something like, I think I mentioned it once before, you have a fuel pump that doesn't work. Sometimes just banging on the gas tank gets the fuel pump working, so it gets you home. And then you can deal with it when you have time to deal with it. Trust safety to the most recommended roadside provider in the U.S. Join AAA today at AAA.com/join. Buying or selling a home? Maria Salzillo of J. Barrett Realty can help. Maria Salzillo has been a licensed agent for over 30 years. Her valuable insight and dedication provides her clients with the finest personal service and professional representation. Maria knows the greater North Shore area. She focuses on the specific needs of those buying or selling a home. If you've been considering buying or selling a home, give Maria a call today. 508-527-6910. That's 508-527-6910.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Mark Rosenthal. Here's your North Shore 1049 forecast, serving the North Shore and the Merrimack Valley. For today, lots of morning sun, the decreasing clouds, 55 to 60, but much cooler at the coast. Cloudy and breezy overnight, rain late, lows about 40. Tomorrow, rainy, windy, drizzly, and cool, low 40s. Monday, cloudy, occasional showers in the lower 40s with a northeast wind. Weather forecast being brought to you by the Berry Tavern, located on High Street in Danvers. Open daily from 11:30 in the morning till 9:30 at night for lunch and dinner takeout or catering. Enjoy this week's specials. Buy one, get one half price, which includes their famous juicy hamburgers, authentic brick oven pizza, or fresh roasted tavern wings. Call 978-777-2377. For local North Shore 1049, I'm Mark Rosenthal.
And welcome back to the Car Doctor program on North Shore 1049. Calls are quiet this morning. 800-370-1049, 800-370-1049. Make sure you listen next week. We're going to be giving away a AAA membership. Yeah, that's right. I talked a couple out of the boss. So said to the boss, hey, well, the boss of the marketing department, said, hey, can I get some AAA memberships to give away? So we're going to be giving one of those away next week. And we'll do it like we always do it. We'll do it with trivia. So we'll play a little game, and you can find out a little bit more. And right now, remember that there are some membership discounts available too. So AAA.com/join. They're running a little bit of a special right now. So check it out at AAA.com/join. I wanted to talk about the car that got me around, and that was the Mercedes E-Class. The E-Class by Mercedes comes in a variety of models and engine choices, from a station wagon to a high-performance sports sedan and a convertible somewhere in the middle. All-wheel drive is available in most models. Our road test was in the 5-passenger E350 with all-wheel drive, dubbed 4MATIC in Mercedes speak. The E350 is powered by a, hard to believe, a 2-liter little tiny 2-liter engine, 2-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder engine that develops 255 horsepower and 273 foot-pounds of torque. Pretty impressive in the torque side. The engine's connected to a 9-speed automatic transmission, and in the case of our test drive, it powers all 4 wheels, kind of. You know how 4-wheel drive works. It's not really all 4 wheels, but it's front and rear, depending on how it works. The base 2-liter engine is certainly capable of day-to-day driving with more than enough power for all driving conditions. Those looking for more power can opt for a 6-cylinder version or the high-performance AMG E-Class, which is powered by a twin turbocharged V8. It's been a while since I drove one of those, but that thing was a rocket, by the way. Transmission shifts smoothly, and Mercedes and many other car makers, as they're adding more gears to their transmission, are doing a really good job of getting the computer to match the performance of the engine to the shift points in the transmission. And in this Mercedes, they did a really good job of doing that. The steering is nicely weighted, like a lot of European cars, light enough at low speeds for parking lot maneuvers, firm and direct with no wandering at high speeds. Yeah, sometimes you get out on the highway and you'll notice that sometimes there's a little bit of wander because it gets a little too artificial feeling. That isn't the case with this vehicle. It did a really nice job. The ride is Mercedes comfortable, firm, but still soaking up some bumps without being jarring. The base E350 version, the overall handling is biased a little bit more towards comfort than sport, but still has excellent composure overall. The brakes are firm and powerful and easily able to quickly stop this 2-ton sedan. Safety is well addressed with automatic emergency collision warning, braking, blind spot warning, all this, a lot of stuff, and something called Car-to-X communications. Now, this is new for me. I've heard about it, but I haven't seen it before, and I guess you don't actually see it, but the system uses radio communications to talk with other vehicles and even the roadway. The system has the ability to warn the driver of hazards well outside of their view. So in other words, if there's a vehicle with a similar system and it blows a red light, it's going to tell you, because it's going to say that, hey, I know that light is red. That car just went right through it. Watch out. Pretty interesting. Where it all goes, I guess you have to start somewhere, and you have to put it in some cars, so they decided to put it in this. The interior of the E-Class is luxurious without being overdone. The leather seats are firm, but comfortable and supportive. It's just a nice vehicle all the way around. The E-Class by Mercedes has changed over the years. There was a time when a Mercedes sedan was never considered a driver's car. Well, that's changed. If you're looking for a recognizable, solid, fun-to-drive, mid-size luxury car, the E350 is a good choice. Now, I was doing too much talking, and Jim was trying to talk to me. Jim, talk to me. Oh, okay. Well, that's good. You can blurt in. You can break in at any time, Jim. You can join. You're part of the program too. You do know that, right? You are important. You're my part. Let's talk to Joe in Somerville, and I'll stop talking. Joe, good morning.
John, welcome back. The world is saved. You're back on the air.
Well, thanks,
whatever
Joe,
you're making, double it. I'm so glad you're back.
Well, thanks. I appreciate that.
Yeah, I'm one of your biggest fans, and the reason I'm calling you about the new 2020 Corvette.
All right.
I'm a car nut. I'm not a mechanic like you, but I'm a car nut.
Okay.
They had a couple of problems. Have you heard about them?
I've heard there's been a problem here and there. I don't know. Everybody wants to jump on that there's a problem. Right now, they've kind of stopped production again to straighten some things out. But everyone I've talked to who has driven this car says it is phenomenal.
Right, no doubt about it. What I'm saying, they had a problem with the door, opening up the door, and that was quality control. One of the screws on the inner with the tire fender well is scratching the inside panel.
Right.
And some of them went through were fine, and they've had a couple of problems. First, they thought it was on the white color. But don't get me wrong, I think it's a fantastic car, but I'm a fussy guy. The second problem, a guy had a video washing the car. Now, some of the water is getting into the rail where the mid-engine is. But they said, car and driver said, it's not a problem. They have vents on the side.
Yeah.
But he waited like 5 minutes to dry it, and he still had water. And that's where your spark plugs and so forth is. Do you think that's a problem?
No, I don't think so, because think about under the hood of your car, or truck or whatever.
I understand that.
Yeah. Between the water splashing up from underneath and and water that doesn't, the seal for the hood is not to seal water so much, but it's to seal from wind noise and all of that. So I'm not too worried about that one.
Okay.
The idea of like the door not quite fitting correctly on some models, that's something they need to work on as they step up production as the numbers get higher. But for
well, this was it's actually scratching one of the screw coming in. I don't know if it popped out, and it was actually scratching the paint.
Right. Yep.
They're not taking orders till May 22nd for 2021 model. Do you think this virus is going to have effect, or people going to buy these cars anyway, whether they have the money or not?
I think for $60,000, if you can find dealers that are actually selling them for $60,000, $60,000 is a lot of money, no matter how you look at it. $60,000 is a lot of money. But I think that for people who have the money to spend, there is no better value in a car than this.
Oh, absolutely.
And,
there was a guy, he's called a normal guy, buying a Ferrari. And what it cost him for a year, he took out a loan. Usually the people that buy Ferraris, they pay for it cash. Well, he took out a loan for $70,000. It cost him, he did a lot of work himself. It cost him for 3 years like a 36,000. He did a lot of work himself after the second year. And they said every 3 to 5 years, whether you put 1 mile on there or 30,000 miles, the only way you gotta pull the engine, and that's 10 grand. So compared to a Ferrari, that sold me on the Corvette.
Oh yeah, no, this new Corvette is a phenomenal car. I was talking to Wayne Carini, the guy that does Chasing Classic Cars, and he had one on order, but the strike sort of slowed it down a little bit.
Sure,
so
yes,
I don't know if he got his, but he was supposed to get number, I think, 75 or 76, and I don't know. I don't quite know if he got it or not, but I know he had it on order, and he was real. You know, there's a guy that drives multi-million-dollar cars all the time.
I know.
And he was really excited to get this car. So
the only thing that I like, everything is blacks. They did away with the chrome wheels. Why did they do away with the chrome wheels?
I think that's just it's the style of 2020 right now, and I think we'll see that. And the other thing is, they know that there's a whole market of people that want to do easy customizing, and even though easy is expensive these days, but they know that there's people that are going to want to change the exhaust. They do know that people that are going to want to change the wheels to make it look a little bit unique. So I think what they did is they said, we're going to build a really good wheel, and if people want to change them, they have the opportunity to change them, but have that different option. Give it to people as an option to do.
They already have a performance deal. I forget the name of the guy in Texas. He took off 2 of the back, the fenders. He put 2 turbochargers, 1 in each, and it produces 1,200 horsepower.
Yeah, because, 500 is not enough, right?
Do you think eventually they will come out with a supercharger like in the previous models?
I mean, they've already said they're coming out with a high performance version. So, Just
a quick question. One last question on the supercharger. Sure. Can you get it where you flip a switch? When I want it to come on, it could come on. But if I'm doing local driving, it won't come on. Is there anything out there like that?
No, I'm sure there are some electric turbochargers out there that do that, and electric superchargers that probably do have an electric clutch on them, like almost like an air conditioner clutch. But for the most part, if you're driving around with the superchargers turning all the time, it's only going to work. It's only going to work when you tell it to. So there's no need for that. So
I just think they're easier to work on than a turbocharger, because then you got to go underneath and the engine, and they work off the exhaust, whereas the supercharger works off the air. But I won't bother you no more. Welcome back, and you made my day.
Well, thanks, Joe, and call anytime. All right, thanks. Bye-bye. Joe from Somerville, longtime listener. Love having longtime listeners join the program. We need to take another break. My name's John Paul. This is the Car Doctor program. Got a little time left. 800-370-1049. 800-370-1049. We'll be right back.
All roadside assistance is not created equal. A car can break down anytime and anywhere. Join AAA, the roadside provider that puts you first. AAA covers you in any car you're driving or riding in. Our trained technicians arrive fast and usually fix the problems on the spot. Trust your safety to the most recommended roadside provider in the U.S. Join AAA today at aaa.com/join. That's aaa.com/join.
Are you a Saab driver who loves your car but can't find a mechanic? Or maybe you own a Range Rover and have to wait weeks for maintenance. If you own an Audi, Porsche, or any European car, you know you need a European automotive specialist. The kind of professionals you'll find at Specialized Auto in Essex. With 23 years in the business and a proven track record in sales and service, Specialized Auto can maintain and repair your car with fast turnaround and at lesser expense. European cars are special. They need Specialized Auto of Essex. Call them today at 978-768-1121 for Specialized Auto of Essex.
Hello, this is Brian Craney from Craney Home Services. I want to take a moment to discuss the ongoing events surrounding COVID-19 and what we are doing to help keep the people of our community safe and healthy. Because Craney is a plumbing, electrical, heating, and air conditioning company, we have been deemed an essential service by the government. As we continue to provide these essential services during this time, we all have to take extra precautions to keep everyone safe. In addition to basic precautions like hand washing and wearing gloves, shoe covers, and masks, we're practicing safe social distancing as well as sanitizing our vehicles at the end of each day. We've trained our entire call center to ask important screening questions, such as, have you been sick in the last 14 days, or are you currently feeling ill? If any customer responds in a manner of concern, we'll let them know that now is not the best time for us to come to their home. These are things that we all can and must do in order to reduce the spread of COVID-19 and help our community stay healthy and safe. From all of us at Craney Home Services, be safe and know that if you need us, we are here.
And welcome back to the Car Doctor program. And DJ Jimmy Carter, nice choices of music, by the way, buddy. I think we're going to Dawn next. Good morning.
Yes, you are. And I thank you for letting me know where you are, where I could find you.
Well,
and I just wanted to add some things that why somebody should listen to you. Because number one, you care, and you even gave me your last extension cord connector. And the other thing is you're very cost effective. You save a lot of money. You solve problems that baffle others.
And well, the other thing I always try to remind people: you get what you pay for. So.
Well, you're the biggest bargain out there. Where others are baffled, you come to the logical and, as far as I know, the only correct solution. You've always been right on the money. So here you are, and I'm listening to you from Central Georgia and also from Cape Cod and Hyannis. But you are great, and just like Junior D'Amato was before you, he helped me off an awful lot when I had troublesome vehicles and nobody else could figure out what was the matter with them.
Yeah, sometimes and I'll be honest with you, sometimes it's a matter of you think and you kind of puzzle it out and you kind of look at things that make sense, and you don't jump to conclusions sometimes, because sometimes you jump to a conclusion based on, and a lot of times it's based on, they never do that. Well, every once in a while they do that. So you have to look at things that might not apply to a Toyota Camry, but it might apply to a Honda Accord, and you go, you know what? I've seen that in a Toyota Camry. I wonder if it could be the same problem in a Honda Accord, and sometimes you get lucky. And I always go back to years ago. There was somebody who called me. They were actually from Texas, and they asked me a question about something, and I answered it, and they said, this car's been in a couple of different shops. No one's ever been able to fix it. You came up with it. And I said, and I've had regular repair shops call me and say, hey, why do you think you can fix a car? You haven't even looked at it yet. And I said, sometimes it's just a matter of you kind of do a little bit of thinking about it. You come up with an answer, and sometimes you actually do fix them, and you come up with somebody. I remember the guy in Texas. I said to him, "No, look for this bad connection between here and there," and I fixed it. And Dawn, I appreciate all the good words, and stay safe, stay distant, I guess, or not distant from me, but stay distant from everybody else, and take care. And we'll talk to you again anytime you want.
Thank you very much. You make the Saturday mornings come alive again. I really missed you. You were just a big void not being there.
Well, I appreciate it. I appreciate it a lot. You have no idea. You are, like many people, part of my radio family, and I don't say that just being silly about it. When I don't hear from somebody for a while, I actually worry about them. I worry about what happened. Where are they? Are they okay? Are they healthy? Because you are part of the family, and we're, whatever it is, whether it's a good day when you're out cleaning your car or car shopping, we're all in this together. So I care about all the whole radio family here. I really appreciate it. So Don, thanks a lot. My clock says we're getting close to running out of time. Jim, can you confirm that for me? Confirmed. See, I thought so. But yeah, so I guess we'll save the vacuum cleaner review. Yeah, that's right. But it's car related because I vacuumed my car with it. We'll save the vacuum cleaner review for next week. Coming up next week too, we're going to be talking to some folks from Chrysler. We may be talking to Jim Morrison. Jim, nothing about the doors? Nothing? All right. Jim Morrison is He's a bigwig with the Chrysler Corporation, so we may be talking to him. If not, we're going to be talking to somebody else from Chrysler about Jeeps and all kinds of cool stuff. So until next week, make sure you wear your seatbelt, drive safely, be good to your car, wash your hands, and remember, there's a lot of good programming right here on NorthShore1049.com. Talk to you all next week. Bye-bye.
North Shore 1049, WBOQ Gloucester.
And streaming worldwide on the North Shore 1049 app.